holiday. But that wasn't the holiday I was thinking of. What holiday do you guys think of when you hear October 31st? You think of Halloween, what do you think of? You think of the same one? That's not really the holiday I think of. I personally really don't celebrate Halloween in my home. Violet, did you have an answer? Thanksgiving. That is something we celebrate, but that's not till November. No, when I think of October 31st, I think of a different holiday that is a Christian holiday. We call it Reformation Day. Have you guys ever heard of Reformation Day? Oh, well then we have something special to talk about today. Reformation Day happened over 500 years ago, a long time ago, in 1517. To give you guys an idea of why and what was happening, in the 1400s, before we got to that 1517 date, there'd been a lot of bad things happening. There had been heavy droughts or sometimes heavy rainstorms that would affect the crops and make it to where there wasn't enough food to eat. There was a really bad plague going around called the Black Plague that took down 1/3 of Europe. So dying, was always on the minds of these people. They thought, oh my, when's it my turn? Am I going to die today? Maybe it's tomorrow. It was just always there. Everybody they knew around them, something would happen, whether it was pestilence, famine, or maybe disease was taking a lot of these people's lives. So when Pope Leo X decided he was ready to start or to complete St. Peter's Basilica, he said, you know what? I know a good way we can earn money for it. We'll sell letters of indulgences. Well, what does that do? Does anybody know? Jaden knows. Okay, we'll ask Jaden. What does that do?
It secures a spot in heaven, supposedly.
I like the supposedly at the end because that's not something we believe. We don't believe that you have to pay money to get to heaven. Do we do anything to get to heaven? We just have to give our lives over to Jesus, don't we? He says that I already did the hard thing. You just have to accept this free gift. But during this time, that's not what the people thought. They thought, if I want to go to heaven, I've got to pay money. And if I pay money, that's going to help me get there all the quicker. Oh, that's where I want to be. So people were paying out money to get to heaven quicker. And there was the monk named Martin Luther, and he said, that's not what I've read in my Bible. That's not what I see. I see that we are saved by Jesus and Jesus alone. And this isn't fair. We are taking people's money, poor people's money that they need, and they think they're going to buy their way to heaven, and that's not true. And he said, you know what? I want to have a discussion with my fellow monks and priests and all the people who work in the church to talk about this. It's not right. So he wrote out 95, it's a pretty big number, huh? 95 different things that were saying, this isn't right. I don't believe that we should be doing this. And he nailed it, boom, 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 on the church door on October 31st, 1517. Hoping that everybody would see this and say, you're right, we shouldn't be doing it. During this time, there was a man named Johann Tetzel. He was a friar, and he used to have a saying, because he was selling these indulgences to people. He said, as soon as the coin into the box rings, a soul from purgatory to heaven springs. People loved hearing that. They thought, take my money. Oh, yes, take it. But you know what? Martin Luther said, no. We are saved by justification is by faith alone. And so I know over time, people have started celebrating more of All Hallows Eve or Halloween, but that's Satan taking away our vision of what we should be celebrating in a few days, which is Reformation Day. It is a day where God says, look back to me. I am the only way you're going to get to heaven. Just through me. You can't pay enough. You can't even be good enough. but you can love me. And that is all you need to do. And so I have these packets here that teach you more about Reformation Day and why we celebrate it and why it was such an important day in our history and why I hope next year when I'm up here or somebody else and they ask you, what holiday is October 31st? Everybody can say, it's Reformation Day, because that's a day we want to remember. So as you guys head back to your seats, learn a little more about Reformation Day.